Hey college students, perhaps this is your freshman year and you want to start off on the right foot. Or maybe you're an upperclassman who has vowed to change your ways for the better. In any case, there are several great study tips to help you be more productive and successful in and out of the classroom. Let's take a look, shall we? First, I'll break down the health habits of studying, then how to prepare for essay exams, followed by how to make studying fun, and finally, some tips on good note-taking. A lot of times we think the best way to study is to do a lot of it, non-stop, as often as possible. But there's more to studying than simply the amount. Healthy studying is the best type of studying. So taking care of your body as you cram for the big test is super important. Experts say sleeping is the most important healthy habit to cultivate while studying and preparing for tests, class, etc. The National Sleep Foundation reports that less than 1 in 6 of most students get the necessary rest their body needs to perform at peak levels. Sleep is vital to your body being able to run and your mind being able to focus. Sleep is also a huge part of our memory functions. The American Physiological Review emphasizes that sleep plays an active role in consolidation, which basically means that when you sleep, your body begins the chemical process of solidifying your memories of that day, protecting them from interfering emotions, stimuli, or ideas. Believe it or not, naps can also enhance your performance as a student. NASA did studies to find out how naps can help astronauts function better in space. They discovered that working memory performance benefited from the naps. This is a fundamental ability critical to performing complex work, like flying a space shuttle, or, in our case, taking a big test. You have to be careful when napping though, as sleeping too long can throw your body out of its natural cycle. The National Transportation Safety Board has produced evidence that a nap lasting over just 20 minutes can enhance your body's alertness by over 50%. Sleep isn't the only healthy habit to start when needing to do well in school. Exercise is also vital to our ability to perform. One study conducted in Germany showed that people who do light exercise for 30 minutes prior to memorizing new information excelled at retaining what they learned, while people who simply sat and memorized did not perform quite as well. Too much difficult exercise prior to study, however, can hinder learning. Balance is the key here, just like everywhere else in building our study habits. Lastly, diet can influence our ability to study and learn just as much as anything else we do, according to a new study by the official journal of the American Academy for Neurology. They found that the healthier you eat, the better your mind will function. That's probably not news to you, but if we want to maximize our test-taking ability, we can't forget it. Doctors recommend eating foods like the following: meats and nuts, which are high in proteins; fruits and vegetables, at least 3 servings of each; whole grains, avoid those white breads and pastries; and hot, unsweetened beverages. Tea and coffee don't give sugar crashes, like sodas and energy drinks. In all, it's important to remember that taking care of your body can be just as vital as studying enough. Get sleep, exercise, and eat well. These can be the keys to your success on test day. Essay questions are often the most feared and difficult form of test taking for many people. These questions often require you to have an extensive knowledge of the material, plus you have a time limit in which you have to construct clear, logical, intelligent arguments about that material. You may even be expected to reference primary and secondary source material from memory. So what gives? How do we approach an essay exam? Other than the obvious preparation strategy, namely knowing the material, there are some methods for studying for essay questions that can be highly effective. First, identify the major concepts and themes that were emphasized during lectures, classes, or written material. It is very likely that the essay questions will be created out of this emphasized material, so it's crucial to be familiar with these concepts. Second, try to predict what the essay questions on the test might be. This is also helpful to do with other people who are in the course. Oftentimes, you can simply take the major topics or section titles from a textbook or the emphasized themes and concepts and use the words describe, explain, or define to create a probable essay question. In this step, you are not only preparing for what the actual essay questions on the test will be, but you're also categorizing and organizing the important major points from the material. Thirdly, use a couple of your practice essay questions to create an outline. When making an outline, write a thesis statement in order to begin thinking about the direction of your essay. List each of your main points for the essay, and then under each main point include 2 to 3 points of evidence, textual support, or subpoints. At this point, you'll have several outlines for probable essay questions on the exam. You can trade these with friends or study partners, and then get a different perspective on the exact same material. This will help you be most prepared for an essay exam. Many of us are familiar with the long hours of boring study sessions. This is why most people don't like to study. They find it uninteresting. They try to avoid it. And when they do study, they actually don't get much out of it. But does it have to be this way? The answer is obviously no. But how do you change that? Well, you make studying fun. How do you make studying fun? That's what this study tip is all about. The first tip, as we've already talked about, is to treat yourself. Rewarding yourself with things after studying for a while can be very helpful. Even something as simple as getting a portion of a snack after a study session can work. If you're studying or reading from a book, place a small candy or snack at the end of each paragraph down each page. Once you reach the end of the paragraph, reward yourself with a candy. This will help you stay focused and keep your place on the page, motivated to keep reading. You can also plan enjoyable outings after studying sessions. This will help you work hard during the time allotted for studying. The next tip is to go ahead and make your material into a song or game, so it's not the same boring stuff over and over again. It's extremely helpful and effective when you can insert your own imagination and creativity into the sometimes boring material that you need to learn for an exam. The game can be very simple, such as trying to guess what the next paragraph or page is going to be about in your book or text, or get together with the study group and play Jeopardy using the material. Insert the facts, dates, names, or concepts you are trying to learn into a song that you know by heart. You can sing the song throughout the day and recall all the facts. You can even silently sing the song in your head while you're taking the test to help you remember things. Or make up a silly story to go along with the facts that you're studying. And that way, when the test day comes, you can go ahead and recall it more easily. The last tip to make your studying just a little bit more interesting is to change up your scenery. Instead of sitting in the same room for hours, try changing locations every time you finish a major section, chapter, or topic in your studying. Even if you're only moving from your bedroom to your kitchen table, or from the library to the lounge area, or to a local coffee shop, switching up your scenery will help you avoid falling asleep, becoming mentally stagnant, etc. It also improves retention of the things you have been studying. So remember, 1. Treat yourself. 2. Change your studying into a game or song, something fun. 3. Change up your scenery. When it comes to good study habits, the first and arguably most important is taking good notes. If you're in class, take notes. If you're not in class, usually you can still take notes from your source material. But before we go ahead and start talking about specific methods of note-taking, let's go over a few very obvious yet easily forgettable strategies when taking notes. First, come to class prepared. This may seem simple enough, but successful note-taking begins with preparation before class. Showing up to class having completed the assignments with a note-taking system, whether it consists of a computer, tablet, or regular paper and highlighters, is important. Second, focus on the meat of the subject, not the trimmings. The purpose of note-taking is usually not to write a full manuscript of the lesson or content. Instead of writing down every single example or sidetracked thought, stick to the main points and make sure you fully understand those before noting anything else. Lastly, pay attention to your notes. Probably more than any of us would like to admit, we can sometimes zone out while writing notes, but it is very important to think critically about the notes that you are taking. It is even better to absorb the material, reword it into your own words, and write down the note once you have analyzed the concept. Alright, now on to some actual methods for taking notes. The first that we're going to cover is the Cornell system of note-taking. This system involves 5 steps. First, divide your paper up into 4 quadrants. At the top, you have just enough space for the course name, your name, the date, and any other relevant information about these notes. Next, you're going to have a line down the paper, dividing it into 1/4 and 3/4 of the page, like this. And next, you're going to go ahead and leave a section at the bottom here for your summarization afterwards. As you take notes during class or during your reading, go ahead and put them in this large section of the page here. After class or after you've finished reading your assignment, go ahead and boil down these notes into the main points, which you're going to place over here. As you review at the end of the day, put your key points into a summarization down here at the bottom. Now when you go to review your notes at the end of the week or before a test, you have an easy to digest summary in your own words. You can go back for more details in the key points section, or if you need a really broad view of the entire lecture, then you can go ahead and hit the larger section of your notes with more details. Once you have your notes or material which you need to learn, you can reformat the content into flashcards, which have one concept, word, definition, or fact on one side, and then a corresponding concept, word, or definition on the other. Remember, not all exams consist of one-to-one connections, so using flashcards can limit you a bit. That being said, they are especially good for memorizing specific details. I hope that helps. If you're looking for something more specific to just being organized, don't worry, we have a video just for you right here. And if you're a high schooler, you haven't quite made it to college, we haven't left you out. No worries, your video is right here. Check them out. Thanks for watching this one, and until next time, happy studying.